If you're looking for the most in-depth Cash App tutorial for beginners, this is the video for you. We'll be covering how to open an account from scratch, how to send and receive money, how to buy Bitcoin using Cash App, and even how to invest in stocks. Cash App was launched back in 2013 as a peer-to-peer payment service and has since garnered a user base in the hundreds of millions. They now offer a diverse range of financial products all under one roof, making this an extremely convenient money app. Now guys, dozens of hours went into making this the most in-depth Cash App tutorial out there, so if you appreciate that, please go ahead and drop a like on this video, as well as subscribe and hit the bell for future notifications. With that said, let's dive in. The first step is to visit ryanoscribner.com/cashapp, which is linked up down below to get started. And this will work whether you are on Apple or Android. Now this is going to be my referral link, so you may get a reward bonus in the process, and I may as well. So once you click on that link or enter that URL, it's going to bring you to this page here where you're going to install Cash App. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the blue Get button at this point, and then go ahead and double click here to install. Once the app is fully installed, go ahead and click on the blue Open button, and this is going to bring you over to the official Cash App. From here, you're going to have to either enter your phone or email, so depending on which one you want to use to log in, go ahead and do either one. And now it's going to have you confirm the code that was just sent to your phone number, and then you're going to click on the green Next button once again after that. At this point, Cash App is going to prompt you to link your bank account. Now, if you want, you can skip this step for now, but we're going to go ahead and do it, as it's super important to do this to have the full functionality of the Cash App itself. Once you type that all in, you're going to click on the green Link Card button, and it's going to start the process of linking your bank account. And now it's going to ask you for your full legal name, and you will also get text alerts through this process if you signed up with your phone number about your bank account being linked to your new Cash App account. Once you enter your name, which is exactly how it's spelled on your government ID, you're going to click on Next once again, and now you have to enter your date of birth. At this point, you can click on Next once again, and it's going to ask you to choose the cash tag. Now this is essentially your username for Cash App, and it's something other people are going to use when they are looking to locate your actual profile to send or request money. So if you're a business, you might use your business name, but for an individual, you can either use something that relates to your name or just something memorable that you can send to other people. But just keep in mind, you do have to send this to people, so don't do anything super embarrassing or anything like that. So in this case, I went with the username rscrib1, and I will forewarn you that there is a massive user base for Cash App, so it is pretty difficult to find the exact match that you're looking for. But as you're typing it in here, it's going to show you what is and isn't available. So rscrib wasn't, but putting the one on makes that available for me. And now we're going to click on the green Next button. At this point, you're going to have to choose a PIN here as a backup for Face ID, so this won't be the same as the lock screen PIN on your phone. This is going to be separate. Think of this like a debit card PIN, for example, where you want to remember this and keep it safe, and you don't want to store this information anywhere that someone could find it, as they could then utilize your account to send money, for example. So go ahead and enter a PIN now and store this somewhere safely. At this point, you have to confirm the PIN that you just entered, so go ahead and do that. At this point, it gives us information here about the Cash App card. So if you do plan on using Cash App's other features for managing your money, such as spending money with the Cash App card, you can click on Next to begin that sign up process. For this video, we're not going to get into the Cash App card just because it's going to be above and beyond the scope of the basics. But if you do want to see more about that, leave me a comment down below. We're going to click on Skip for now. And now it's going to ask us about syncing contacts to find them on Cash App. I'm going to click on Not Now, but if you do plan on sending money to your friends and family already in your contacts, you can sync your contacts and it will automatically populate anybody who is in your phone that already has a Cash App. But for now, I'm going to click on Not Now. So here we are on the home screen of Cash App after we've created our account, and the first thing I want to show you now is how to add money. So we've already linked a bank account earlier on. So what you're going to do is click on the bottom left, which is like a little bank or house looking icon, and then it's going to show you your cash balance. Up here is is where you're going to either add money or withdraw, but in this case, we're going to add money. So if you click on the add money button, it's going to have some pre-filled amounts of $10, $25, up to $200 to add. But if you want to add more, you simply click on the three dots here. So if you wanted to put $500 in, you would type in that amount. But in this case, we're just going to go back here and we're going to click on add money again, and we're just going to do a $10 deposit. So after that, we're going to click on continue. And at this point, we do have to actually verify our identity before depositing. So this is where you're going to need your license or some other type of government issued ID. At this point, you're going to click on the green continue button, and it's now going to ask you again for your date of birth. And then you're going to click on the green next button, and it's now going to ask you for the last four digits of your social security number. So there are going to be some forms that might be filed with the IRS depending on the volume that you are sending and receiving on Cash App. So that is why they are asking for this information. There's also KYC or know your customer laws. So companies are required to collect this information, and that is why they are asking for things like your address and your social, for example. It is fully encrypted, so you generally don't have to worry about this being unsafe or anything like that. Once you've entered that, you can click on the green next button once again. And just like that, it now added the $10 to my balance. So I didn't actually have to do any ID photograph verification. You might need to do that depending on if they can automatically verify you. So just keep that in the back of your mind. For now, we're going to click on the green done button, and the cash balance is now $10. We're going to look into the other stuff here in terms of the savings account, Bitcoin investing, stock investing, and even their tax refund and return features. But for now, I want to show you how to actually send someone money on Cash App. If you click the $ at the middle here, it brings us back to the home screen where you see the $0. And let's say you want to go ahead and send somebody just $2, for example. Maybe they split a very, very cheap lunch with you or something like that. So you're going to type in the dollar amount first, and then you're going to either click on request or pay. In this case, we're looking to pay someone, so we're going to click on the pay button. And at this point, you can allow the contacts if you wanted to look through your phone. We're going to click not now, but you can either type in the person's name, the cash tag if you know it, their phone number, or their email. So you're going to type in the two here, and then you're going to type a $ first, and then you're going to type in the cash tag. Once you type that in, that's going to automatically populate at the bottom, and you'll see the person's name, so you can check that box here and confirm it is the right person. So if that's why it's good actually also to set your profile picture to yourself if you plan on using this a lot. That way you can look at that circle icon and see if it's the right person. At this point, you're going to click on confirm, and then you have the option to add a note here in the for section. So we're going to type in here and say splitting lunch, even though that's just a fake example here, but you can type in whatever it is here for either sending money or requesting money, and then it's going to show you where you're going to source the funds. So we can use the $10 cash balance, but if you click on the drop down, you could also select the debit card that you linked and pay this right out of your linked bank account. And then we're going to click on the green pay button, and at that point, it sends the money. Now, depending on how much you send, it might kick back a two-factor code for you to verify for your phone or email, but since this was only $2, it didn't seem to care. At that point, we'll click on the done button, and if we click over here at the left, we can see that we now have a balance of $8. But let's say you want to see a record of the transactions that you've sent or received, for example. To see that, you're going to click over at the bottom right, this clock icon, and that's going to show you all of your activity. So we can see where we added $10 initially from the debit card, and that money settled immediately, so we could send it right away. And then we can see here where $2 was sent in an example here of splitting lunch. Now, if you want to request money, for example, you would follow those same steps. You would click on the $ in the middle. You would type in the amount of money that you're looking to request. But instead of clicking pay now, you'd click request, and then you would follow the same steps here of either entering the name, the cash tag, phone number, or whatever it may be. And then at that point, you would send that person a request here. So I'm just going to type in demo and then click on the green request button. And just like that, we have requested $50. Now they would then have to go into their account and manually send that money, but it will notify them that there is a request. And since we just sent that request, if you click at the bottom right icon again for activity, we now have a pending section which shows this request. So if it gets filled, it'll move down to the today section or whenever that actually processes. But let's say, for example, you want to cancel a request that you've sent. You would click under the pending section and click on the actual transaction. And where it shows you as pending here at the bottom, you would then click in the top right, the three dots, and it shows you the details about the transaction. At this point, you can can click on cancel request if you want to, and it's going to prompt you to confirm whether or not you want to do this. We're going to click on yes, and just like that, we have canceled out that request. That's going to move it down to the today section, so it still shows this under activity, but it is going to be striked out here with the $50, so you do have a record that the transaction was actually canceled here for the request. Now we're going to explore some of the other features of Cash App beyond just sending and receiving money, seeing as that's what this was actually built on, but they also offer options for saving money in a high interest account, Bitcoin investing, stocks, and taxes. So let's take this right in order here and start off with their savings account. If you click on that here, it's going to give us some basic information. So they're offering a 4% interest on your savings. Keep in mind that is going to fluctuate with the federal interest rates, but that is going to be when you direct deposit $300 or more per month. So you do have to set up your direct deposit here from your employer and have at least $300 a month, but then you can get that competitive APY on your savings. So if you do want to take advantage of that, that is available, and at that point there are no minimum balances or fees. But if you just simply deposit money or move it over into this account, you're not going to get that same 4% interest because you need to have direct deposit. Now we're going to cover a part that a lot of people are probably looking for, and that is Bitcoin investing through Cash App. So starting from the main screen once again, just so people are aware, what you would do is click at the bottom left where you see your Cash App balance, and under Explore, you're going to click on Bitcoin. At this point, you can get information about this by sliding from left to right, but we're going to click on the blue Get Started button. At this point, it prompts us here to show that we can buy Bitcoin for as little as $1. So let's put that to the test and put $1 single into Bitcoin. So if we click on the blue Buy Bitcoin button, we now have the options here to do a one-time order, or if we click on this drop down, we can change the order type. So this offers an auto invest feature if you want to automatically invest in Bitcoin on a daily, weekly, or bi-weekly schedule. So if we click on that, you can see where you have the options to set this to daily, weekly, or bi-weekly. And there's a $10 minimum for recurring purchases. So if you wanted to do a weekly investment, you would have to do $10 per week. It would be $40 a month as minimum. But for now, we're going to click on the back button and take a look at the custom purchase order option as well. This allows you to automatically buy Bitcoin if it reaches a price you choose. So this is going to be similar to a limit order for those who are familiar with the stock market. If you click on that, you're going to set the price here that you will trigger a purchase order at, and it actually has a really fancy line chart here that makes things really easy. So if we look at the data here, it's going to show us the current price of Bitcoin at 93,000, give or take. But let's say, for example, you were waiting to buy Bitcoin where you saw this pullback here earlier today. You could drag this down, and now you could set a order here to only purchase Bitcoin at 91,585 or better, which means it would have to decline 2% from the current price. So this is pretty handy here if you want to get specific about your purchasing price or your sale price. But in this case, we don't really care. We're just going to put a one-time investment of $1 in. So we're going to select that here. But if you want to put a larger amount in, you would click the three dots and type in, for example, $500 if you wanted to put that into Bitcoin. We're going to click on the X and once again click on Buy Bitcoin, click on $1, and click on the blue Next button once again. At this point, it's going to ask for our email address as we need to verify our email. At this point, it brings you to the order review window where you can make sure you understand all of the details. So at this point, it's going to be a funding source of my Cash App balance. It shows you the amount you're going to purchase, and it shows the dollar amount that you're going to pay here for the Bitcoin, which is just about 93,800. It also shows you the total Bitcoin purchased will be 97 cents with 3 cents paid in fees to Cash App, and we are going to end up paying a cost of $1 but getting 97 cents. So there are fees with Cash App, but this may change, so you want to check out the official Cash App website for details on the fees. Once you're all set, you can click on the confirm button, and just like that, we made our first Bitcoin purchase on Cash App. If you click on the blue done button now, it brings us to our portfolio, and this now is a value of 96 cents based on the fees and market fluctuation. Let's say you now want to sell your Bitcoin balance on Cash App. You're going to start by clicking on your Cash App balance at the bottom left, and it's going to bring you to your money homepage, and under Save and Invest, you can see your Bitcoin balance. You're going to click on that, and then you're going to click on the blue Sell button, and at this point, it's going to have you verify the last 4 digits of your social, and you entered this information earlier when you purchased the Bitcoin. At this point, it's going to ask you about backup withholdings with the IRS. If you do have that, for example, you're going to click on yes, but it is very uncommon. in. And this is because when you are selling cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin, for example, you may have a capital gain if you make money, and that is required to be reported to the IRS, and you do have to pay taxes on those capital gains. We're going to click on the confirm button now, and then it's going to have us sell the 95 cents worth of Bitcoin, and we're going to end up getting 92 cents back after fees. So it is going to be a waste here, but we're going to click on the blue confirm button nonetheless. And just like that, we have sold our Bitcoin. So if we click on the blue done button, we now have a $0 Bitcoin balance. We can click on back here, and our cash balance is $7.92. But what about sending and receiving cryptocurrencies? That's something a lot of people are looking to do, and you can do that with your Cash App wallet. But what we're going to have to do first is buy some Bitcoin for that. So we're going to click back here into the Bitcoin section of the app, and I'm going to quickly go ahead and purchase a $20 Bitcoin order. We're going to click on next, and we're going to click on confirm. So just like that, I purchased $20 worth of Bitcoin. So at that point, if we click here on done, we have a $19.46 balance after the fees. But now let's say you want to send or receive. You're going to click on this up and down arrow button, and this gives you the option to either send or receive cryptocurrencies. So what we're going to do now is send it by clicking on the send button at the very top. So let's say you want to send $10 worth of Bitcoin. You would type that amount in and then click on the blue send button at the bottom, and now you can either choose between sending this via a Bitcoin address or a Lightning invoice. I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure what a Lightning invoice is, so I'm not going to speak to that in this tutorial, but I will show you how to send this over to a Bitcoin address. Over here in my demo Coinbase account now, we're going to locate my Bitcoin wallet address. We're going to do that by clicking on the portfolio button here, and it shows a list of the assets. I don't own any Bitcoin currently, but if we click here and then search for Bitcoin, it's going to populate here at the very top for us. So go ahead and click on that, and then you're going to click on the transfer button and click on receive. This is now going to bring up your wallet address, and we're going to click on the copy button, and you're now going to paste in the wallet address, and you're now going to select it at the bottom here once it auto populates, and then click on the blue next button in the top right. Now at this point, it is going to require you to verify your identity with a photo of your ID and face to continue. So when you do look to send or receive crypto, this is when it's going to have you do the most in-depth form of identity verification. So we're going to click on the blue continue button and start these steps. So it's now going to have us complete the identity verification steps, starting off with taking a picture of one of the following options, either a driver's license, a state ID, US passport, or permanent resident card. I'm going to be doing this with a driver's license, so I'll click on that, and then you do have to allow camera access. That way you can take videos of the front and back, and also of your face. At this point, you're going to line up the box here with your ID until it automatically scans, and then confirm that it's visible. And then if it's good, click on the use photo button. Then you're going to flip it over and do the same thing on the back here, scanning this and letting it auto capture. It did take about 45 seconds, but it did accept those photos, and now it's going to have you take a photo of yourself. That way they can verify that the person on the ID matches who you say you are. So we're going to click on continue. And now we're going to have to let it auto capture a picture of us. And now at this point, it's going to have you turn your face slightly to the left, and then turn your face slightly to the right. And then it gives you a green check, and it's now checking over these photos, and it says this may take a few seconds. And now it's going to ask us a questionnaire here related to our Bitcoin investing. It says select the main reason you use Bitcoin, and you have a bunch of different options. We're going to say investing and click on next. It then asks you what the main source of your income is, and if you have multiple, you can select multiple. We're going to say here pay from an employer, as well as investments, and then click on next. And then you have to enter information about the status of your employment. I'm going to check self-employed and click on next. And then you enter your job title. So I'm going to type in influencer, and then click on next. And then you enter the name of your business, and then you're going to choose the speed here for withdrawal. So this is where you have to really consider the fees here with Bitcoin. If you want to make this a priority, it's going to be a $3.24 fee, which on $10 is crazy. A rush, which is going to be a $1.70 fee, is going to take about 2 hours. And the standard, which arrives in roughly 24 hours, is going to be free. So depending on how quickly you need to get it there, you can choose these options. I'm just going to choose standard because it doesn't doesn't matter. Although at that point, it does show you the withdrawal minimum here is 0.001 Bitcoin. So in that case, we'll just leave it as the priority for the demo. Click on next, and then we are going to confirm the withdrawal to external wallet. If everything looks good here, you're going to click on the confirm and send button. And now you have to enter your cash pin that you set earlier. And just like that, we initiated the withdrawal here over to my Coinbase wallet address. So I will keep an eye on that and we'll check back later to see if that withdrawal actually works. But let's say you want to receive Bitcoin to your account instead. Maybe you have somebody who wants to pay you in Bitcoin, or perhaps you have Bitcoin in a separate wallet that you want to move over. You would click on the up and down arrow button again, but in this case, you would then click on receive, and this is going to show you your Bitcoin address. Now, if another person is sending it to you and they're nearby, they could actually scan this QR code with their phone for this process. But in this case, since I'm doing my own wallet, we're going to click on the copy button, and this copies my Bitcoin address. At this point, we're going to head over to my Coinbase app, and I'm going to show you how to paste it in. Over on Coinbase, I don't have a Bitcoin balance right now, but I will show you what this would look like. You would click in the search button here, and then you can either type in Bitcoin or click on it if it's populated at the top. And at this point, you would navigate over to the transfer section and click on the send button in order to send cryptocurrency. At this point, you would click into the box here and you would paste what you copied over. And this is going to be the wallet address from cashapp. And you're going to click on this. And at that point, you can enter the amount that you want to send over. After making a $10 deposit here and purchasing $10 worth of Bitcoin, we have $8.91 left over. There is a 99-cent fee on Coinbase on the low end, so that is going to be pretty hefty on small transactions, but just for demo purposes, we are going to do it. And if you appreciate that, drop a like on this video. We're going to click now on the asset to send, which is our Bitcoin. We have $8.91 available. So let's just go with $8, and hopefully this is even enough that we can send. If I click on preview, and it says the minimum you can send is 0.0001. So if I try $8.91, we'll see if it's enough, and it's just shy of it. So what we'll do is wait for my other Bitcoin to come over, and then at the end, we will send it back over to Cash App. Back over in Coinbase now, we can see the Bitcoin that we sent from Cash App has come over. So if we click on the portfolio button now and select Bitcoin, we can see here that the balance is 1904 and that we received $10 worth of Bitcoin. So if we click on this, we can get details about the transaction, but it has officially completed. And now we can actually send this Bitcoin now back over to Cash App, just so you're familiar with how that would work. So what you're going to want to do now is click on the transfer button at the bottom right, and we're going to send this cryptocurrency. And now we have to locate our Cash App Bitcoin wallet address. Back over on Cash App, you're going to select Bitcoin from the Save and Invest section. You're going to click on the two arrows up and down and then select Receive. And now you're going to copy your Cash App Bitcoin wallet address and then jump back over to Coinbase, and we're going to paste that in. And then we're going to select it from the drop down below and enter the amount we want to send over. So this time now we can send over $19 worth. It's going to be more than the minimum, and we can click on the preview button. And we do need to send a little bit less just to cover the network fees. So I'm going to lower that now to $15 and click preview. And we are now able to send this over, and it says it should take about 54 seconds. So we will check this out, and it is a 59-cent network fee. So we're going to click on the send now button, and just like that, we have sent over that $15. So I'm going to click on done, and we are now going to navigate back over to Cash App and see how long it takes for us to receive the Bitcoin. While we're waiting for that to come over, I do want to show you a couple of other features here in the Bitcoin section that you might be interested in. The first thing I want to show you is how to tell whether or not you're making money with your Bitcoin investment on Cash App. You would do that by scrolling down to My Performance, and it's going to show you here your all-time returns on a dollar basis and percentage basis. So on my demo account here, my all-time return on a dollar basis is a loss of 59 cents or a loss of 2.81%. If we click here on the details, it will show you more information about this in terms of money in and money going out. It also factors in if you are sending and receiving Bitcoin, which is helpful. So you have both purchases and sales, as well as deposits and withdrawals that are factored in. And below that, we also have other options for investing in Bitcoin, including Bitcoin roundups, which is rather interesting. If you select this here, this gives you the option to to invest your spare change by turning your spare change into Bitcoin spending with the Cash App card. So you would have to get the Cash App debit card, but then your spare change would be rounded up to Bitcoin investments, which would allow you to dollar cost average slowly over time into Bitcoin. And it's a rather interesting way to build up a Bitcoin portfolio. Another option here is auto investing in Bitcoin. So if you wanted to invest automatically in Bitcoin using Cash App, you can do so. There is going to be a minimum of $10 for recurring investments, but you'd be able to then do this on a daily, weekly, or bi-weekly basis, automatically investing, and you can either take it out of your Cash App balance or have it deduct this from your linked bank account. There's also the option here to get paid in Bitcoin. So if you want to invest your direct deposits into Bitcoin without paying a fee, you can take your direct deposit, link it to Cash App, and then convert a percentage of each deposit over into Bitcoin. So if you wanted to put 10% of your paycheck or 2% of your paycheck into Bitcoin, which is not an investment recommendation, but just for example, you could do that by setting up direct deposit and then setting the percentage to whatever you would like. And then that amount of money would go into Bitcoin investments without paying any fees using this feature. So guys, the Bitcoin deposit is pending now and we can view it even though it's not in my Bitcoin portfolio just yet. If we click here on the activity tab at the bottom right, under pending, we can see a Bitcoin deposit of $14.97, which is what I just sent over from Coinbase. So within a little bit of time here, it will be in my Cash App Bitcoin wallet, but the transfer has sent over and we did successfully send Bitcoin over from Coinbase over to Cash App. We're now going to dive into the stock market investing features of Cash App, and that is going to be accessible by clicking on the bottom left button. And now you can see we have a $0 cash balance, but we will deposit some fresh money here to invest. Now, since I've already set up my Bitcoin account, it does show a Bitcoin balance, but what we want to do is actually scroll down to Explore and click on Stocks. This is going to show us where we can start investing with just $1, and we can buy stocks in some of our favorite companies. So for example, they're showing GE, Coca-Cola, Walmart, Apple, etc. And if you scroll down, you can also get more information here about the most traded stocks over the last month on Cash App, biggest daily movers, and different information like that. If you're looking to research what stocks to invest in, you get different sectors and industries here. For example, if you're looking for banking and finance related companies, that's all going to be listed here under that section. And you have various drop downs here where you can add different filters to your query. Or for example, if you want to see what stocks had the best performance over the set period of time, you could say 10% or higher return over the last 90 days and see which companies have this going on. So for example, they're saying JP Morgan over the last 90 days has gone up at least that much. So if we look at the last year here, we can see in fact JP Morgan stock is up 41.42% over the last year. So let's say you want to invest in JP Morgan Chase stock because you want to capitalize on this yourself. Now guys, this is not a buy or sell recommendation and I'm not a financial advisor, but just for demo purposes, we're going to invest in JP Morgan Chase stock. You'd click on the buy button to start a purchase order, and you now get to choose whether you're looking to do a one-time order, or you can change things here into doing an auto investment if you want to do a recurring investment on a set schedule, or you can do a custom purchase order here if you're looking to set a limit price here for what you want to pay for JP Morgan Chase stock. So let's say you wanted to buy it at the low end over the last month, that would be at about $233.75. You could set that here and essentially set a limit price, but we're just going to invest automatically with a market order by putting $10 here into this stock. So we're going to do a one-time order and we're going to click here on next. And now we have to give a little bit more information to set up the investing features on Cash App. So we're going to click on the Get Started button and we now have to enter information here. So it asks us here if any of the following apply. Do we have an immediate family member who is employed by another brokerage or FINRA or a senior executive? It's very rare that this is going to be the case, so we're going to click None Apply. It now asks for the last four of your social, and it's now going to have you verify your information once again. If everything looks good, you can click on the Looks Good button, and now it asks whether or not you are subject to backup withholdings. We're going to click on Confirm, and now it brings us to the order ticket window to buy $10 worth of JP Morgan Chase. Now you can invest as little as $1 with Cash App, but we decided to do $10 in this case. We're going to get this for an approximate share price of $239.04 and buy 0.042 shares of JP Morgan Chase stock, symbol JPM, and the funding source here is going to be the debit card. So once that's all set, we're going to click on confirm. And just like that, you invested $10 into JP Morgan Chase. So if we click here on done and then navigate back here at the top left and click that once again, it brings us back to our portfolio screen, which now shows a $10 balance. And if we scroll down, this is where you can track your overall portfolio and see how the value changes over time on a dollar basis and a percentage basis. But let's say you want to invest in the S&P 500 using Cash App. I'm going to show you how to do that now, as well as how to do that on a recurring schedule if you want to automate things. So when people invest in the stock market, a lot of people will do so using an ETF or exchange traded fund, and this can allow you to invest in a diversified manner. With the S&P 500, this is going to give you exposure to the 500 largest publicly traded US companies, and you'll be investing a little bit of money into each one of those. So it's a very popular strategy to capture the return of the US stock market. What you're going to want to do from the home screen is click into the search button, and then you can type in the symbol for the ETF. One of the most popular is the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, which trades under the symbol VOO. So if we type that in here, we can see the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF listed, but if you want to use another provider, for example, SPY is going to be the SPDR version of this. So depending on which one you want to use, just go ahead and enter that. For this case, we will actually use the SPY version of this and select that at the top. And now you have the option here to look at the performance. So over the last day, it's actually down 1.7%. Over the last month, we're actually down about 4.5%. But if you look at the last year, the S&P 500 is up a little bit shy of 22%, and the all-time return on the S&P 500, in particular, it has been more, but for this ETF, it's only 1,218%, most likely based on when they created this particular fund. What we're going to do now is click on the buy button, and this is where you can choose whether you're looking to invest one time or do a recurring investment. So if you're looking to do a recurring automated investment, you're going to change your order type here to auto invest, and you can do a daily, weekly, or bi-weekly investment. So let's say you're looking to do a daily investment. You could put at minimum $10 per day into the S&P 500, and you would do this by clicking on the done button and then setting the dollar amount. So in this case, this would be $10 per day going into the S&P 500 every day that the market is open. But if you wanted to do it on a weekly basis, you could also change it here, or even a bi-weekly basis if you want to do it a bit less frequently. But in this case, we want to just do a one-time order, so we're going to click on one-time order and then select done, and we will do a $1 investment just to prove that you can do it this time. So now we're going to put one single dollar into the S&P 500 through the SPDR ETF, and this is going to be from my debit card. We're only going to get 0.002 shares, but hey, it's still possible, so I want to show you guys that you can do it. We're going to click on confirm, and just like that, we purchased one single dollar of the S&P 500 ETF. So if we click on the done button now and return to the home page by clicking back once again, and we now see we have 1101 as our balance, and in our stocks owned, we now have this ETF listed. But let's say you're now looking to sell off a stock in your portfolio with Cash App. What you're going to want to do is select the particular stock you're looking to sell. So in this case, let's choose JP Morgan Chase, and you can now take a look at the performance here of your investment. So since we just bought this, my return is only 0.1% since I purchased this about 10 minutes ago, but you can track here to see whether or not you're making money or losing money in a particular investment through Cash App. But we're going to go ahead and sell this now. So we're going to click here on the sell button, and this is where you can choose to either sell this as a one-time order, or you can do a custom order here and actually set the exact price here you want to sell at. So this is going to be like a limit sell order here. So if you want to specify the exact price that you would sell at, you can do this here by adjusting it up or down. But in this case, we just want to do a sell order at the current market value. We're going to sell off $5 worth, which will be half, and then we're going to click on the next button. And at this point, you can click on confirm to sell $5 worth of JP Morgan. So once we do that, you can see here that we have sold off $5 worth, and then we can click here on the done button at the bottom, and we can see now that we have $5.01 left invested. And if we navigate back now to our home page, it's going to reflect a balance here of $4.98 from the JP Morgan stock that we just sold off. That's it for the investing feature, but now I want to show you the taxes feature briefly. So you're going to click here under Explore on Taxes. Cash App offers a few different tools here, one of them being the estimate for your refund. So if you want to figure out what your refund might be looking ahead, you can use that tool. They also offer free tax filing for individuals. You'll have to look into that more to see what the stipulations are, but they do offer that as a service, as well as tax planning tips. So you can check this out yourself. And if you're also looking to get copies of prior tax returns or things like that, you can do that from this screen as well. And while we're on the topic of taxes, I will also show you how to locate your tax forms in Cash App. From the home screen, you're going to click on the person icon in the top right, and then you're going to scroll down to your account settings, and then you're going to click here on Documents. At this point, you have different categories here of account statements, and then savings, stocks, Bitcoin, and tax returns. So depending on which features you use, they'll be located in different sections. But if you're looking for a stock market related tax form, that would be under stocks, for example. And in here, you would either have your monthly statements or your tax documents. Since we just created the account, I don't have any just yet, but that is where you would locate your tax documents and other statements. Another question a lot of people have is, what are the daily limits on Cash App? So to see those yourself from the home screen, you're going to click on the person icon in the top right, and then under account and settings, you can click here on limits. Now this is going to be different depending on what bank you have linked, but in my case here, my send limit is $4,000 per week. My receiving limit is unlimited. My adding money to my Cash App limit is $4,000 per week, and my withdrawal to my bank limit is $25,000 per week. And you can also see your limits here for Bitcoin purchase transactions. So the limit is quite high for that, $100,000 per week. As far as deposits and withdrawals, you can deposit up to $10,000 per week in Bitcoin, but you can only withdraw $1,000 per week of Bitcoin. So if you are depositing a lot of crypto to your Cash App, keep that in mind. It might take you a lot of time to withdraw that. But let's say you have questions while you're using the app and you need to reach support. Here's how you would get a hold of support with Cash App. From the home screen, once again, you would click on the person icon, and you would then scroll down under account and settings and click on support. And at this point, you can go through the steps on how they can help you, and you can browse through the categories. So you can start off with the self-help options here, but what I typically like to do is just jump right into support. You can scroll to the bottom and click on the chat button below Contact Us, and this will open up chat support, and you can type in exactly what the question is that you have, and you can even upload a photo here if you have a screenshot of your app or something like that, for example, to share. That's going to wrap things up, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you made it to the very end, make sure you drop a like on this video, as well as subscribe and hit the bell for future notifications. I've also created a full playlist with all of my tutorials, which is now linked up down below if you're looking to learn more about any other financial apps. And don't forget to grab your free stock from Robinhood while you're down there by clicking the link down below or visiting ryanoscribner.com/Robinhood. You can click below to watch my full Robinhood tutorial for beginners, and I hope to see you there.